So we're continuing on with our 48 Laws of Power energy reading series. The 48 Laws of Power is a book written by Robert Greene, and this is law number 15, crush your enemies totally. So whenever I read this law, I think of that saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, right? If somebody shows you that they're your enemy, that they're not for you, then you need to act accordingly and assume that this is how they will always be. Okay. Some people, don't like having enemies. I used to be one of those people. But then I discovered that if you don't have enemies, either you don't deal with anybody at all or you're a big people pleaser without boundaries. And as somebody that's an empath, an energetically sensitive being, this was detrimental for my emotional and spiritual well-being. So I had to go through a lot of healing, a lot of dark nights of the soul to correct this belief that I had within me that everybody had to like me, that I wanted to make everybody like me. Yeah, it's something that took a lot of work. I had to learn the subtle art of not giving a fuck, right? Great book, by the way. But if you are my enemy, for example, and you come for me now at this point in my journey, I'm going to try to crush you, okay? But I'll do it in a way where you fuck yourself up. Understand what I'm saying? But there are so many people out there that hate themselves with a passion, right? Lots of people hate themselves. Self-loathing is prevalent in our world. So it's impossible for a lot of people to love you or anybody else. So you're going to have enemies, especially if you're somebody that is doing the personal and spiritual development work on yourself. You love yourself, you're confident, you're beautiful, you're powerful, you have lots of self-worth and lots of self-esteem. You're going to have enemies, okay? I personally do regular return to sender work. I've talked about this a lot in my videos. And I call on my ancestors and my angels and my spirit team for protection and defense because I know they're going to always deliver. I let the Lord fight my battles, right? But remember, too, that when you're doing this spiritual work on yourself, you're going to attract enemies, okay? The physical enemies in your world, the people that switch up on you, and you're going to attract spiritual enemies, too. Okay, so you need to know how to, quote unquote, crush these energies so that they don't stop you from moving forward. And a lot of times these energies will be presented to you so that you can hone your spiritual defense, so that you can level up spiritually, so that you can grow, right? Most spiritual advancement, unfortunately, is generally preceded by a fall of some sort. And we learn the most valuable lessons in life through our relationships with people, okay? But what's really interesting, going back to this, talking about my ancestors and my spirit team, I let them fight my battles. I find it interesting that sometimes spirit will let me witness my enemies being crushed. But other times I'll just get that intuitive hit. So don't be petty like me and want to see that. But anyways, there's so much toxic spirituality out there about, you should always forgive people. You should be love and light. You should turn the other cheek. You should, forgive people. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of that is bullshit. There's some things only God can forgive. Okay. Karma is real. And karma basically states that there's an eye for an eye. So you can forgive that person if you want and bring them back into your life if you want to, but they're still going to get their karma, right? So anyways, somebody needs to hear that. But like I said, I let God and my spirit team and my ancestors fight my battles because I know the victory is guaranteed, right? And I also know that the best revenge is massive success. And I don't play with people either. Like, once you've shown me who you are, I believe you and I act accordingly. Now, can people change? Absolutely. But most people don't. Okay? It's very hard for people to change their life and change their ways, especially as they get older. And I'm just keeping it real with you. Okay? But ultimately, the best way to crush your enemies totally is to love yourself unconditionally, to keep leveling up and to keep applying pressure to these assholes that want to be your enemies. All right? So I hope this video was helpful for you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.